If you're thinking of booking a Royal Caribbean cruise, but worried about breaking the bank, well, this video is for you as we detail how much it really costs to go on a Royal Caribbean cruise in 2025, including all the add-ons the cruise line doesn't tell you about. That way, you're one step ahead of everyone else on board. Up next. Welcome aboard, everyone. I'm Don B from Eat Sleep Cruise, and a special welcome back to our Eat Sleep Cruise subscribers. Now, if you're new to our channel, you might not know that Heidi and I have been on over 25 Royal Caribbean cruises. We've sailed on various ships in the fleet in all types of staterooms, so we know it's like planning and budgeting for your vacation. While cruising is a great value, like most things these days, the costs of going on a cruise have gone up. So in 2025, we expect cruisers to pay anywhere between $250 to $500 per person per night for a Royal Caribbean cruise. So it's not unheard of for a family of four going on a week-long Royal Caribbean cruise to expect to pay anywhere between $7,000 to well over $10,000 for their week-long vacation. Can you cruise for less? Yes, but you could easily spend way more. In fact, we spent more than $10,000 on a 7-night Royal Caribbean cruise as just the two of us. Just exactly how did we get to these numbers? We break it all down in this video by showing you exactly how to build your cruise budget. That way you don't return home with sticker shock. Unlike a hotel room, which has set nightly prices no matter how many people are staying in it, cruises are priced per person. When you're pricing out cruises online, you'll notice that the price is usually advertised as a per person cost. And often the advertised price is for the cheapest cabin category on the ship. Now, on a positive note, due to laws passed last year, cruise lines and websites offering cruises now must advertise prices that include all taxes and fees. In the past, the advertised price would be just for the cruise fare. Then at checkout, the price would increase by hundreds of dollars due to these additional port fees and taxes. But now the prices you see online should include all those additional costs. And they're not cheap. Depending on the region and the number of ports visited, these fees and taxes could increase the cost of your cruise by anywhere from 15 to 30%. Some areas that have the highest port fees and taxes include Alaska and the Mediterranean. Several factors affect the cost of a Royal Caribbean cruise, like the ship, destination, and the number of nights. In general, new, larger ships in the Royal Caribbean fleet will be more expensive on a per person per night basis. On the other hand, cruises on smaller, older ships will be less expensive. And don't worry, we'll get to all of that a little bit later in this video. Just like most cruise lines, Royal Caribbean has 4 basic categories of staterooms that they then break into further specific types of cabins. The 4 general categories include interior, ocean view, balcony, and suites. Of course, based on desirability, these are priced least to most expensive in that order. When you're pricing a cruise, the base starting fare is the cost for an interior cabin. If you're going for a higher category, you'll pay more than what you initially see when scrolling through the cruise options. Within these standard categories are many variations. For example, just under half the ships in the fleet feature studio interior, ocean view, or balcony cabins, which are designed specifically for solo travelers. Royal Caribbean's Oasis class and Icon class of ships feature 2-story loft suites, and the Icon class ships offer staterooms with separate bedrooms and nooks for kids, as well as infinite balcony cabins. And Royal Caribbean is one of the only cruise lines in the world that offers inward-facing balcony cabins. On Oasis and Icon class of ships, these are windows and balcony cabins that overlook the open-air Central Park, boardwalk, and surfside neighborhoods. So when you go to book a balcony cabin on one of these ships, you'll have to choose whether you want an interior view or an ocean view, with ocean views usually commanding a higher cruise fare. The difference in cost between the stateroom categories varies depending on factors we've already discussed, like the particular ship and itinerary, as well as current availability. But in general, you'll typically find that inside staterooms are priced anywhere between around $100 per person per night to about $150 per person per night. An ocean view stateroom could be priced anywhere from around $125 per person to about $200 per person per night. Balcony staterooms can vary between $150 to over $300 per person per night, with suite categories ranging the greatest. Depending on the suite category and the ship, we've seen prices as low as around $275 to $300 per person to well over $1,000 per person per night for some of the most luxurious suites on the line's newest megaships. Remember, these are just estimates based on Royal Caribbean's currently published cruises, and when you go to book, some can be cheaper or they could be more expensive. Typically, the first two passengers in a stateroom generally pay the full published cruise fare regardless of their age. If there are more than 2 people in a cabin, the additional guests will be charged a discounted fare. This means that whether you're traveling as a young family, or a group of friends, or with your adult children, if everyone is staying in the same cabin, the total cost will be cheaper than the full per person published fares. Sometimes Royal Caribbean runs a deal where kids can cruise for free. So this means those third and fourth individuals in the cabin will not be paying any cruise fare, but you still will be paying the fees, port charges, and taxes for those passengers. Typically, those additional costs are about $125 to $275 per person for a week-long cruise, depending on the region and the number of ports visited. Keep in mind, all these prices we're talking about do not include additional costs like gratuities, shore excursions, travel insurance, or any other extras on the ship, as well as probably one of the biggest costs for many families, transportation to and from the home port. Whether you fly, drive, or take a train, make sure to factor in how much getting to the port will cost you when considering your total trip budget. The cost of airfare, plus a pre-cruise hotel stay, and any share rides or ground transportation to and from your hotel can add hundreds of dollars per person for a week-long cruise. You should also consider travel insurance. Royal Caribbean doesn't require that its guests have travel insurance, but we highly recommend that you purchase it anyway. Most health insurance plans don't cover your medical expenses in other countries. This means if there's an accident or you get sick while on the ship or in port, you'll have to pay for your medical bills out of pocket. Travel insurance also covers things such as lost luggage and trip interruptions. And in our experience, you can usually find a policy between $100 to $200 per person for the typical week-long cruise. But everyone's situation is different, and travel insurance policies vary greatly. So do your research to make sure any travel insurance policies you purchase align with your needs. Another line item you need to factor into your cruise vacation budget is shore excursions. If you're planning to get off the ship at the ports of call, and of course, we highly suggest you do, you need to budget for the activities and your time spent ashore. One option is to take a shore excursion. While they're not required, and you can certainly do your own thing, shore excursions and organized tours can be a great way to see the highlights of a destination or do a fun activity. If you do want to take shore excursions, be sure to budget for them when considering your overall Royal Caribbean cruise costs. Many cruisers opt for a mix during their cruise vacation. They take excursions in some ports and explore on their own at others. Whatever your plan is on a port day, you need to factor in those activities such as transportation, food, any entrance fees, tour guide tips, or other related costs. Now, of course, you can book shore excursions through the cruise line, or you can save up to 40% off cruise line's advertised prices by using Shore Excursions Group. We use Shore Excursions Group on several of our cruises, and you can take advantage of the same great deals using our exclusive link down below. In our experience, shore excursions typically range from around $100 per person to $200 or $300 per person, especially in certain regions like Alaska, which have very unique and sought-after excursions. Aside from the use of the Royal Caribbean app, internet is not free on a Royal Caribbean cruise. The brand's Voom Surf and Stream allows access for basic internet surfing, social media, and email, in addition to streaming movies and music. This package works on board the ship as well as Royal Caribbean's private island, A Perfect Day at Coco Cay. Unfortunately, Royal Caribbean utilizes dynamic pricing for its internet package, which means that costs vary depending on your specific cruise. It can be as little as $15 or $20 per person per day per device, up to $30 or $40 per device. So a family of 4 where every member needs access to the internet could easily spend hundreds of dollars over a week-long cruise for the internet on a Royal Caribbean ship. But you won't know the exact cost until you book your voyage and you're able to see the price for purchasing the internet in your cruise planner. Now, these prices can change all the time, so be on the lookout for discounts and deals, and the cruise line often bundles internet access with other add-ons for greater savings. Service charges or gratuities are an additional per-person charge often added to your onboard account or paid pre-cruise by each traveler. Currently, Royal Caribbean charges $18.50 per person for a standard cabin and $21 per day per person for those staying in suites for these daily gratuities. These gratuities go towards the guests facing crew members, including stateroom attendants and servers in the dining room, as well as behind-the-scenes staff like those who work in the laundry room. Passengers can visit guest services to remove the daily gratuities from their account or adjust the amount given, but we discourage this. Additional cash tips for crew members who you feel deserve it are also welcome. You may also want to bring some cash to tip porters and tour guides for the trip. Royal Caribbean cruises include basic beverages like juice, lemonade, milk, drip coffee and tea, as well as hot chocolate. However, soda, alcoholic drinks, smoothies, specialty beverages, and bottled water come at an additional cost. So if you're thinking of consuming any of those beverages, you need to budget appropriately. Beers cost around $8 per serving, with wines by the glass ranging from about $9 to $12. Mixed drinks go for about $11, with specialty cocktails costing about $14. And there's that bottled water, which is $3.50, as well as soda and specialty coffees and energy drinks, which range between $3.50 to $5 per serving. Of course, if those values are starting to add up, instead of paying for drinks a la carte, there are also Royal Caribbean drink packages that you can purchase for a per day price. Royal Caribbean offers a classic soda package, which allows unlimited fountain soda on the ship and at the line's private destinations. The soda package is approximately $15 per person per day and includes a souvenir cup, which means you need to consume around 4 to 5 sodas per day to recoup the cost of this package. Another non-alcoholic package is a refreshment drinks package, which costs around $38 per person per day. Again, Royal Caribbean uses dynamic pricing for its beverage packages, so the exact price for your sailing may be different. The refreshment package includes premium coffees and teas, soda, bottled water, fresh juices, non-alcoholic cocktails, and milkshakes at Johnny Rockets. Essentially all non-alcoholic beverages across the ship, and depending on the mix of drinks you consume each day, you probably need to drink about 6 or 7 non-alcoholic drinks each day to get your money's worth. Finally, there's the deluxe drink package. This includes everything in the refreshment drink package, plus beer, wine by the glass, and cocktails worth up to $14. There are only a few things that aren't included in this package, such as room service and the mini bar items, as well as drinks in souvenir glasses, and beverages served inside licensed Starbucks stores. Again, with that dynamic pricing, the deluxe drink package can cost you anywhere from $110 to $120 per person, to currently lowest prices we've seen lately are around $75 to $80 per person. Before making a decision about whether to purchase a drink package, of course, you need to break down how much you'll actually drink while on board. If you're more of a beer lover, you need to consume more beverages per day versus those who drink mostly wine or cocktails, which have a higher dollar allotment. Be sure to factor in the time you plan to spend in ports of call too, or whether the ship is visiting any of the cruise line's private destinations, because the drink package does work on the private island of Perfect Day at Coco Cay and Labadee, Haiti. Royal Caribbean has a wide variety of specialty restaurants to choose from, especially on its larger ships. Guests can choose from venues like Chop's Grill Steakhouse, Italian restaurants like Giovanni's, Azumi Sushi, as well as casual dining at Playmaker's Sports Bar and Arcade. Some have a per-person flat fee pricing structure, while other specialty restaurants offer menu items a la carte. Some specialty restaurants are also open for lunch, offering a smaller menu at lower costs. They also welcome kids for a much smaller fee than charge for adults at dinner. You can find exact prices for each restaurant in your cruise planner after booking your voyage. Take a look at which upcharge venues are on your ship and decide which, if any, you want to try. Then be sure to include the cost in your overall budget. Royal Caribbean cruise ships also have full-service spas and salons. So if you plan on pampering yourself or getting an experience while on your cruise ship, you need to include that in your budget. Some of these experiences can include massages, facials, mani-pedis, haircuts, and many more. Prices vary, of course, depending on your cruise and experience, but to give you a basic idea, massages can start as little as $125 all the way up to $150. In addition, some Royal Caribbean ships also feature a small thermal suite. This is a space within the spa that includes things like a sauna, steam room, and heated stone loungers. A 7-day pass for this area can start as little as $109 per person, and we've seen that price essentially double on some of the larger ships, again depending on the sailing. But insider tip here, single-day passes also may be available, so check your cruise planner for pricing closer to your sail date or while on board the ship. For many vacationers, a trip isn't complete without a pin, magnet, or Christmas ornament to commemorate the occasion. You can get these and much more at the shops on board your Royal Caribbean cruise ship. In addition to Royal Caribbean logo and destination-specific merchandise, vessels also have shops where you can purchase things like fine jewelry, perfume, makeup, name brand clothing, and duty-free bottles of liquor. You may also want to purchase souvenirs in the different ports of call. We recommend setting a souvenir budget slightly higher than what you expect you'll purchase. Then do your best to stick with it. And even if you're one of those individuals who say you never go shopping on vacation or buy souvenirs, we recommend budgeting at least $100 per person for a 7-day cruise as a backup fund. In addition to everything we've already mentioned, you need to build in some wiggle room in your budget for miscellaneous onboard expenses. For example, Utopia of the Seas offers a dinner time experience called the Royal Railway. Guests dine in a train car that simulates movement through scenery passing by on LED windows. Other various Royal Caribbean cruise costs, depending on your ship, could include the North Star Observation Capsule at select times, Ripcord by iFly Sky Simulator at select times. Both of those experiences are found on Quantum class of ships. There's also the Crown's Edge rope course on the Icon class of ships. Most Royal Caribbean ships also have arcades. Every Royal Caribbean cruise ship is going to have a photo studio and portrait studios across the ship, and you may be inclined to take some photos and want to purchase some of them from the photo gallery. If you need to, laundry service is available. And Royal Caribbean does not include room service, except for a continental breakfast, which is included. So if you like in-room dining, you should budget appropriately for that as well. Other things not included in the Royal Caribbean cruise, no surprise here, is any gaming activities, including the casino and bingo. Royal Caribbean's newest and largest ships command a premium over its smaller, older vessels, which is the case with pretty much all cruise lines. Pricing for middle-aged vessels should fall somewhere in between, unless they're operating in highly sought-after or rare itineraries. The newest vessels include the newest ship in the Oasis class, Utopia of the Seas, and the new Icon of the Seas, which is part of the new Icon class, with Star of the Seas, the second Icon class ship, setting sail later this year. So it shouldn't surprise you that Royal Caribbean's two largest and most expensive ship classes are the Oasis class and the Icon class. If you plan to take a cruise on any of these ships, they usually command a premium. Of course, this is due to their massive size and abundance of entertainment options, with several restaurants, bars, and activities. You will find better deals, though less bells and whistles, on ships like Adventure, Grandeur, Voyager, or Radiance of the Seas. Oftentimes, these cruise ships can be half the cost of the Oasis class or larger cruise ships, and they still offer several of the Royal Caribbean staple features, dining venues, as well as entertainment. Another factor that's going to affect the overall cost of your Royal Caribbean cruise is the destination. Some cruise regions and destinations are more coveted, while there are additional costs incurred by the cruise lines to operate in others. Because of this, another major factor in the cost of your cruise will be the itinerary and the length of the voyage. For example, in the Caribbean and the Bahamas, it's easy to get from a variety of southern and east coast ports, and an abundance of cruise lines have ships sailing in those regions. The convenience of location and high competition make cruises in that area generally more affordable. Royal Caribbean cruises to the Mexican Riviera from California can also be a cheaper option thanks to the high number of people that live near one of those home ports and a large variety of ships in the area. The similar is true for cruises in Canada, New England, and the Mediterranean. And don't forget that older ships often cost less, which is one of the reasons Royal Caribbean cruises in Canada and New England, for example, are a bit more affordable. Smaller and older ships generally sail there. On the flip side, Alaska is an extremely popular cruise destination, but also has a very limited cruising season each year. This means that voyages command a premium, especially during the peak months of June through August. So once you consider the cruise fare, transportation costs to and from the cruise port, shore excursions, and add-ons on the ship like internet, beverages, specialty dining, gratuities, and more, it's easy to see how a Royal Caribbean cruise could cost most individuals between $250 to $500 per person per night. But it doesn't have to. Lucky for you, we put together a recent video of our insider tips for saving the most money when on a cruise. These tips have literally saved us thousands of dollars in our years cruising. The best part is, these cruise tips work on all cruise lines, not just Royal Caribbean. So regardless of who you sail with, these tips are sure to save you money so your next cruise is smooth sailing.